What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. We're about a week away from January here, but we're still eating fresh greens from the garden, and you can too. So today, I want to show you how to easily build your own hinged hoop house for your raised bed garden. Let's go! A couple months ago, I built this hinged hoop house for the raised bed I have here. It's worked excellently. Last night was about 17, 18 degrees, I think it got down to, and everything's still growing fantastic. We're eating the greens from it. A few of you were interested how we built it. That's what I'm going to show you right now. Let's get started and get into it right away. So the first thing we need to do is basically just cut out a frame that's going to match the exact size of the top of this raised bed here. That's why we had these 2x4s laid flat like this. Not only is the edge nice to sit on, lean in, but it's also going to provide the perfect space for us to build this hinged hoop house on. First thing we want to do is take our 2x4s, match it up to the length. Thing about these is these side pieces, these 2x4s, need to run the full length of the raised bed, because we're going to put our hinge on this 2x4 here, so it can open like this. So that's the direction it's going to be opening from. We don't want to put the hinge on this back 2x4 that's like this, because over time, as we lift it, this side would start twisting from all the torque. So the first thing we want to do is cut this top piece. This top piece, that top piece, and then the other side top pieces. I got these two end pieces cut. Now I'm just going to lay them on top. This is going to provide and create the frame for this hoop house, this hinged hoop house. So these two sides are cut. Now we're just going to take another 2x4, bump it up, mark it, and then just cut that for that front and the back. We got the last two pieces of wood cut, the front and the back. So we're just going to line those up, place them where they're supposed to go, and then we're going to screw them together. Now that we have the frame all cut, we're going to attach it together. So what we're going to do is just pre-drill with the countersink bit. And if you can notice here, this piece is a little twisted just because it's the piece of wood. So I'm going to try to take that twist out of it while I attach it. So that's why I have that piece of wood down there. Then we have 3.5-inch deck screws. These aren't going to rust. They're a good length. We're going to put 2 screws in this, one in each side. So we're going to push this down and try to take the twist out. Pretty good. And one more on the other side. Now we're going to do the other side. You can see it's still a little high, so we're going to push that down as we drill. Flattened it out pretty good. Next, we're going to take these 1/2-inch caps. We're going to put one at the end on the outside here and one at the end on the outside here. The reason we're going to do that is we're going to take these this PVC, we're going to attach it there and then make that hoop and attach it on that side. So these are going to hold them in. The way we're going to do that is we're going to drill a hole in the bottom of this and then attach it to the wood here. I pre-drilled these caps, so when I put a screw in, I don't split it. Now we're going to use a screw. It's I believe it's 1 1/4 inches. We want it to be long enough that it's strong, but we don't want to go through this piece of wood and attach to the other one. So we want to put it in the inside corner. The reason we want to do this is because this is going to be one layer of a hoop house. If you want to put another hoop house to have a double, that's going to be on the outside. So we want to make sure we're putting it on the inside, this one. All right, we got that first one in. I'm going to go around and do the same thing on the rest. All done with that. Now we're going to cut these to length. The way to get the length for these is we want to make a half circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the radius of this bed. So the radius of the bed is just the distance from here to here would be the diameter. So we're going to take half of that, which is going to be the radius, and then multiply that times 3.14 or pi. That's going to give us a perfect half circle. But what we're going to do is shorten that just by a couple inches, because if we want to have another hoop house going above it, we want to make sure we have enough airspace between. Sort of like this hoop house right here, I'll show you. Here's the other hoop house I built. You can see there's a gap here, and I want an even bigger gap on the next one. So we're going to make sure that inside hoop is just a little shorter, a couple inches shorter than perfectly half circle. We have the 2 end caps in. Now we're just going to measure the distance between the two 45 inches. We'll divide that by 2. That'll give us the radius, and then we'll multiply that times 3.14. That'll give us the inches, and then we're just gonna take a couple more inches off. After doing the calculations, the length of our half circle is 70 inches, but like I said, we're gonna take a little bit off. So we're just gonna take 2 inches off, and we're gonna end with 68 inches as the length of our half circle. So we're gonna cut 3 of those. Let's do it now. We got all the poles cut that are gonna make our hoops. Now let's attach them. We got the 3, one here, and one over there at the end. First, we're just gonna slide this baby in. I'm gonna stand on it to give me more leverage. Then we have to make sure we slide these over. These T's. As you can see, 3/4 inch on that side, and then 1/2 inch here. Next, we're just gonna slide those over the 1/2 inch pole. We need 3 of them. 2, 3. And then we're gonna attach this side. And you're gonna wanna stand on it so the frame doesn't slide on you. Get that in like that. Same thing on this end. In the middle, we're not gonna need any of the T's. So let's get this side on. The 3 T's. These are gonna attach the purlins, the supports for us. We're gonna have one here going that way, and then 2 others. So let's get up here, get this attached. Just like that, and then one more in the middle. Just like that. Next, we want 3 supports. We're gonna have one up here, one midway here, and one on the other side. That's where these come into play. So we'll slide one on that side, and we'll do the top one first. We're just gonna basically lightly put that in, just to get the distance. Slide this one up, and then just mark it for length. And we're gonna mark it a little long because it needs to slide in. So we'll do that for the other 2 as well. I got those 3 pieces cut all to the same length. Let's get them attached now. One up top here. Attached to this side. These you don't want to make sure they're too short so they don't bow it in. You also don't want to make sure they're too long or it'll bow it out. So now you can see the frame starting to come together. And we need a frame like this because if it snows and some snow gets on this, we want to make sure that it's not gonna bow down too much, get too heavy, and break the frame. Break the plastic or anything. So now that we have this piece up here on top, now let's attach it to the frame. How we're gonna do that is I'm gonna pre-drill. I'm gonna make sure it's centered. I'm gonna pre-drill, then I'm just gonna put a screw in just to hold it. So we're just gonna pre-drill right in the center here. Then just take a small screw. That's just gonna hold it in place there. Got that top one done. Now we're gonna take the side one and we're gonna center it by eye as best we could between these 2. So I think about there, looks good. Then we're just gonna do the same thing. Pre-drill it and then screw to attach it. There we go, the last piece is all attached. As you can see, the frame is all together. Looks good, I'm happy with the way it looks. One thing you'll notice is this piece is on the inside like I mentioned, because if we want to build another hoop house on the outside for a double, we'd have to put it out here like this so we have the space. That's why you want to make sure you have that on the inside. So I have that double one over there, I can show you it. But this is going to just be a single for now, and I may change it to a double in the future. Now I'm going to attach these pieces right here, and I don't want to use a screw to attach them because then the outside of the screw is going to be right here, and I don't want to put the plastic over the screw. So what I'm going to do is make sure they're center and just tape them 2 together just to attach it. So it looks like it has to go up just a little bit to about there. Not crazy, just enough to hold it into place, and I use electrical tape because it's waterproof. Next thing we're going to do is take these furring strips and just mark them for length. So that one's a little long, we'll mark that and cut it off. We want to make sure it's up against this as much as we can so that if we want to attach another hoop house, we have enough space. All right, I got those 2 furring strips cut to length, so we'll just line these up. again, these are going to be what attaches our plastic to our frame. So get these lined up here. Then we're just going to take another one, throw it up here, bumped it up, and now we'll just mark it. And we got those cut. Let's just make sure they fit relatively good. Perfect. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Then let's get the plastic on. Now's the exciting time. Let's get the plastic on. So we're using 6mm greenhouse plastic. You want to use the good quality stuff. And this is a large sheet, 12 by 28, because I'm probably going to do 2 layers with a double raised bed hoop house. I don't want to get it on the ground, but I have to a little bit. We're going to drape it over the top here, and then it unfolds a number of times. So we're going to give ourselves a nice overhang to help pull down this plastic to make it really tight. Let's just get this plastic cut. And I'm cutting it when it's folded like this because it's going to make it a lot easier for me to cut it. How much plastic you're going to need, it really depends on the size of your hoop house you're going to be building. Now let's unfold it. Next, if you're doing this by yourself, there's these clips. You could clip it down, and then it'll help you hold it so you could pull the plastic better. So what we're gonna do is attach one of these clips up here, and then one over here. The tighter we can get this, the better, so that if it snows, it doesn't sink in and sit on it. Then we're gonna put 2 more on the other side, and I wanna pull this tight. We got our plastic all on. Now we're going to take this furring strip, and we pre-drilled holes, set it right up on here. We have it cut to the right length. Then we're just going to drill this down to hold the plastic, then go on the other side and pull it tight and do the same thing. We've got 1 1/4" screws for this, so we don't go all the way through, but we're still nice and strong. Again, we want to make sure we're putting it up as close as we can to that. This is really going to hold the plastic in. That side all attached, let's move to the other side. Now is where we really want to get this really tight. The tighter we get this, the better it's going to shed snow and stuff. Get this in. Then we're going to start at one end on this end and then work our way down. So we'll start at this end. What I'm going to do is just do my best to really pull this tight. So we're going to get that pulled tight and then screw it in. And then just continue our way down. And one of the reasons I wanted to leave it long was so I can get it tight like this. It helps you to be able to pull it. It's long. There we go. Pretty tight. It'll be excellent to shed off snow and water. Looks good. Now we're going to put these end furrings on and then just put the hinges on and finish this baby up. Now we're going to finish this end up. What we're going to do is take the sides and pull it basically to the center as much as we can. Clump it up a little. Get it as tight as we can, and then we're going to get that furring strip up there. Pre-drilled and pre-cut for us. I'm going to do the same thing again on this side. Got those all attached. The plastic looks pretty tight. I'm happy with it. We can always use clips to tighten it in some spots if we really need to. Next, what I want to do is just go around and cut the excess plastic. The hoop house is all finished. Now let's just attach the hinges so we can open and close it. We'll do that, and you can see where you have this 1 2x4 running the full length of the bed. That's what it has to be attached to. Before we do that, we want to make sure all the corners line up and that it's all flat. Then we're just going to take this and attach it just like this. Now that I know it's all good, I'm gonna just cut the plastic a little more. I don't wanna have too much excess hanging off. Now, let's get some finishing touches on. Put a little handle on it so it's easy for us to open and close. We'll do that. I just got a little stainless steel handle, one that's not gonna rust. So we'll just try to center it. There we go, handle attached and nice easy access. Beautiful. This basic version of the hinged hoop house is all finished. This is the upgraded model right here. So I want to show you a few things. First of all, you can see it's 2 layers, which I might put on the other one. Second, you'll see we've got these eye hooks here attached to this green wire, which is metal on the inside. The reason we have that is if on a really nice day we want to air this section out, I like to just put this here, stick that in there, and then it holds. If we get a really strong wind gust, this will prevent it from getting ripped up and thrown away. One thing I wanted to mention though is if you want to build this in your own backyard, just make sure you don't live in an area that's super windy. If you're in a location that isn't closed in like me, that gets an extreme amount of wind, this design might not even work for you. So think about that a little bit. This is the double layer. It does so well for us. We're growing fantastic stuff here. So it's really easy to get that second layer on. If you copy the model that I showed you, this simple version, then you could easily attach another layer. If you want to see a video where I'm attaching the second layer onto that one, just let me know. We can get that going. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Me and Tuck had a lot of fun out here building these. I hope you're encouraged to build your own hinged hoop house. It's not hard. It's a lot of fun, and it can extend your growing season in the spring and also in the fall. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to check out the merch down low. Me and Tuck will be back at you again with another one really soon. We out.